In this video, we're going to create a more interactive chart where we can select the year, but also can use the sales and profits. Now, these checkboxes here to hide or show specific items, and if we click on these as well, we can keep on playing around with it, showing more data in here, basically with these options, and create it a bit more interactivity. So let's start to explore how to do this. In this video, we'll focus on the dynamic chart with data structures and checkboxes. So let's start and explore how we can combine these. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to go to chartjs3.com, getting started, and in here we're going to copy this chunk of code. And if you want to understand what this is, just watch this specific video here. So we paste this in here, then we're going to cut out this and paste this in there. And save that and refresh. Alright, so now we have this bar chart here, and that is nice. But what we want to do, eventually we want to separate it by year, and we want to have 3 different categories, so we need to make it 3 data sets as well. So that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to, well, what we can do first, we're going to work on the data structure here. So imagine this one will be here. We're going to work on the data structure in here, basically like this. Alright, and then in here I'm going to work with only 5 data points. I'm going to work with the data structure. So this would mean that we have an x value, and this x value can be anything, but we will just take these here. Basically these are so identical it doesn't matter so much, but we can copy this. So we say x equals that, comma, and then we will say here another value. So what we want to do here is to distinguish it by year. So we have here the weekly sales, and later on we have another data set with weekly cost and weekly revenue, for example, or profits. So in here we can say we would like to know, we can do a year, let's say year 2019, and then we put in here value, put in 10, and since both are numbers, we don't put any quotations here, comma. And then what we will do is here, we can put in another one, say 2020, colon, and then this will be 15, comma, and we have 2021, and here we have 20. So once we have this, what I would like to do is I want to copy this and duplicate 4 more times, so we cover 5 items. That's 3, 4, and 5, alright, so we're going to just copy this, put it in there. We can just type it as well. And Friday. Alright. So then what I will do here is I will just comment this out because we don't need this anymore. So once we have this here, what we will do is we'll duplicate this again. And let me double check here. We have this can be removed like that. And then what we need to do here, just to make sure if everything is correct, because I have a feeling it's having some issues here. Alright, that is this one here. This needs to be comma, sorry, that was the one. Alright, so now we have that. We can copy this, and I'm going to duplicate this, and after that I'm going to work with the colors. I'm going to paste that, and then I'm going to comma and paste one more time. So once we have this, I'll keep this on sales, and I will move, I guess let's put it like this. I'll just get the green one, which is the 4th value here. We can even remove all of this here, so we only have 1 single value here, comma, and I copy this. I'm going to delete everything, overwrite it all, and put it here 1. Here we are. So we have the weekly sales. So weekly cost will be the next one, and the weekly cost will get this color here, which is the red color. So I'm going to delete everything except for that one. And then I'm going to do the same here, except I will make the solid color here, so the alpha value will be number 1. And finally here we have, this should be maybe profit. Then we have sales, cost, and profits, alright. So that will be the 2nd value only. So cut out that one and delete everything else and paste that. Do the same one for the border color. Here, 1. There we are. So if I save this right now, nothing will happen. And the reason why, we didn't associate the value of that for the data structure. So what we need to do in here for the data structure, in the options, we need to start working with parsing. and with parsing, and basically parsing means make something readable. So what we're really doing is we're making this part readable for the y-axis. So here we say y, let me double check if that's the correct term. We go in here, and then we go in here in the general, we have the data structures, and all we have to do is to scroll down here and search here y-axis key. That's the one we need, and this will be a quotation here or single quotations, as you can see. So it's in parsing, and then here you can get both of them, but the x-axis key we already assign it as an x in our code, as you can see here, so it will already read it nicely. We can put it in there just for to make sure that there won't be any mistakes or any bugs if we have an error. Just put it here like that, comma, and then we just say here we just maintain this on x, and here we'll select 2019 in quotations here. Save this, and then if I refresh, I can see we get an error. Alright, so we have here unexpected token on line 58. So I have to just double check here. 58. There we are. What's going on here? Alright, no quotations. Or sorry, a comma. We have to make sure there are commas here. And finally for this one as well, just make sure you have everywhere comma except for the last one. Although it doesn't matter. If we do this, it will not break the chart. There we are. Alright, so we have this now. It works nicely. Let's put in some data or some random data. So I'm going to put this here. This is the weekly sales. So let's start with 10, and then this will be 12, 14, 17, and then 20. And here this will be 15, and this will be 20, 22, 24. And finally 27, and this one here in 2021, well, we assume it will be even better, so it starts at 20, that is fine. And then we say here 25, 30, and then we say here 31, and then we put this on here 33. Alright, so for the cost I will make this different, so I say here 10, and then I'll make this going down so we can see clearly the difference later on. So you can just put in some random data, it doesn't matter. Then make this 7, 10, 12, and 15, that's alright. And here 10, 20, 10, and 10. Alright. And finally the profits, so the profits will be 20, 30, 30, 20, and 25. Same story here, 2015, 2015, and 2015, and finally here 33, 14, 25, and 50. Alright, so we have all these unique numbers. If I refresh here nicely, so we have all the numbers here, but if we check this carefully, this should be the numbers only from 2019 that we have here. So let's double check. So if we have here this one, it's the first one on the Monday to 2019, we should have a weekly profit of 20, which is the blue one. So let's double check here, the monthly number 20, that is correct. So this is on Monday. Alright, so what we want to do now is two things. We want to have checkboxes here, so that we can select, and we want a select box to select the year. So that's what we're going to do first. Let's create a select box first. So we say here select, and it's closing, and then we have here a option, and what I will do here, we can say here value, and this should be the value of the year. So this will be the year. I'll put in here as well, 2019, and now I'll copy that, make this here, just adjust this all, and then here I'm going to use a function. And the goal with this function will be a on change. So if there's a change at that very moment, it should trigger. And we can say here year finances or something, year data. I'll just call it year data, that's fine. And here I will select this, and this basically refers to this specific item here, whatever the value is within this select, or this within the select tag here. So this is referring to this one here that copies all of this. Well, understand if we select one specific item, it will become, that value will be this. Alright, so we have that part now. And if I save this right now, of course, nothing will happen because we didn't set up the function yet and we didn't connect anything here. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to create two functions. Oh, we need to have the input box as well. Let's make that one immediately. There's a input type checkbox. And then we don't need to have that one. And then we just copy this. And what we want to do here is again this is on basically here on select or on change as well. It could be as well, doesn't matter. And here on change, same story as well. But we don't get the year data, we have to get here something else. We have to also put in here a value. So the value here will be based on, let's see here what we need. But basically the value here will be based on the data set that when we click on it, we want to make sure it disappears as well. But that makes sense, of course. So what we have to do here, the value will be the data set number, which is an index. This is index 0, this is index 1, and this is index number 2. So that's basically what we're going to do here. So we say here the value, this will be 0, and then we say on change, and this will be update chart or show something, doesn't matter. And here I just say select this, or same principle here with this. So, and I guess here maybe instead of on change, on click, doesn't matter, on click. Alright, so we're going to copy this, paste this one here, and paste that here as well. Make sure that we have here quotations that I'm missing out. And this here will be number 1, and this value will be number 2. And then here, we should just give this a name or a label. What will be this one? This one will be, of course, here our sales. Sales, this will be cost, and finally we have here our profit. Alright, so we have this now. Let's start to work on our function here. So in here, the first function name will be based on the drop-down focus on this here with the year data. And you will see that once this starts to work, you will see that this automatically adjusts as well. So what we're going to do here is a function, and this function is very straightforward. It's year data, and here we get the selected year, so we can just say year, that's alright. And then when you have the year, what we really want to do then is get this value. So if I do console.log, we need to put in the following. We say year.value to extract the specific value that we selected. So if I save this right now and refresh, and now I select this, you can see now we get the right year. Alright, so with that, we have to just adjust this one here. So all we want to do here is the following. We're going to say in my chart, and in my chart we go to config, which is basically my chart config, that's correct. And then we say here options, so dot options dot parsing dot, then here the y-axis key equals whatever selected year we have. So we want the year dot value, and then we say here my chart dot update. And once I did that and save that, you will see that this will work nicely. So if I change this now to the next another year, there we are, we get this value here, we get number 33 on this, and this is number 50. Let's double check. On Friday we have number 50 for profit, and number 33, that is correct for 2021, is the sales. As you can see here, sales is 33, profit is 50, and then $10 would be, or whatever currency you're using, 10 stands for the cost. Is that correct? There you are. This is the one. Alright. So we have this working now, and now what we want to do is, now with the checkboxes, to trigger these items here to show or hide depending on the situation. So we say here another function, and this function will be called update. We can just call update chart, and then in here, this would be basically the values that we have here, and this we can just say that I guess data set something, it doesn't matter so much. You can give it anything you want. And then what we're going to do here is the following. What we really want to do is the first thing is to validate if it shows. If it does show, alright, and if it doesn't show, it should be, well, basically if we check mark this or uncheck mark, when we check mark it, it should show, and if we uncheck mark or uncheck it, it should hide it. So when it's like this unchecked, and we're going to check, it means that it's not showing at this point. Now you have to click on it. So basically this will happen. That's what we really want to do here. So what we have to do here is to find the way, how can we validate if the current situation is checked or unchecked. Alright, so what we have to do is the following. We create here a constant, and this constant is equals, so we can say equals data shown, and this will be basically a validation of if something is checked or not. So then we say here my chart dot is data set visible, and then we are referring to what exactly? The data set, and we don't want only the data set, but we want data set dot value. And the reason why we want that is because we're using it at this value. This would grab only the specific item here, the specific checkbox, but not the value of the checkbox. So we need this specific node. So that's why we're doing this. So once we did this, we can now say here console.log and just say show me this. If I save this, refresh, now you can see if I check mark this, it says true, alright. And if I check mark again, still true because it keeps on showing. But if I click on this now, then you can see now it is false. And if I click again to show it again, it's true, alright. So this is our checker. So now once we have our item that helps us to validate if something is shown or not, all we have to do now is basically to continue on, and then we say here an if statement, and very straightforward here, if our data shown, or is data shown equals strict false, if that's the case, what we want to do is hide, or sorry, if it's false and we're going to click on it, we want to show it. So we say here my chart dot show, and what are we going to show? The data set value. And if, basically we can just copy this, we do exactly the same routine, except now we say if it is true, then we want to hide the data set value. And if I save this now, you see, let's move this. Alright, there we are, and then we can move this again. There we are, and now we can hide specific items, hide the profits, and now we only have the cost. You can see there's an effect that is slowly responding, but that's the animation itself. Alright, so if I change this, and then we do this, there you are, it appears again. Of course, right now here, I'm not satisfied with this. What we could do is the following here. We can just say hey, this is by default on checked. Alright. There we are. Save that, refresh. And now it works nicely as well. Change that, put in here this. There we are. There we are. And there you are. We can double check. Is this really true 2022? You can see here, let's check the sales would be for 2022 is 2020, so 2020. Sales is 15, cost is 15, and profit is 20. Alright, so if we go to our data set, sales 2020, 20, 15, cost 2020, 15, and profits 2020 for $20 or whatever it is. There we are. So this is basically the way how you can play around with the data structure. Data structures are very, very powerful. With this you can play around more, create more interactivity, and this will help you to make the chart far more engaging, but also use one chart basically containing 9 data sets. And if you enjoy this a lot and you want to know even more, what I would highly recommend is to check out this video here, which covers clickable bar charts with links in Chartjs. And the reason why this is so interesting is that this works with the data structures as well. But then we're going to create unique links. And as you can imagine, having an interactive chart that we have here, and then still adding up unique links if you would click on this, is very, very interesting and fascinating to learn as well.